Congratulations, Tales of the Shire. You played yourself, and how many did you get? Because if I remember correctly, I hear Dr. Disaster said less than 3K.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. I've also started uploading some content onto Rumble too, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster over there. Anyhow, let's talk about what we're seeing from Tales of the Shire right now. At just under 7,000 players, at least Tales of the Shire is far from the least popular Sweet Baby Inc. game ever made. It isn't something like Unknown 9 Awakening, which, as a Sweet Baby Inc. game, didn't even top out at 300 players on Steam. Or, at least, it isn't South of Midnight, which released just a few months ago and hit about 1,400 players. But the Lord of the Rings franchise being attached to this game meant that Tales of the Shire was always going to draw in at least a little bit of a crowd. Some of the cultural auto-intake zombies were bound to support them, because let's face it, the idea behind Tales of the Shire isn't the worst one in the world. Look, I'm not a fan of the cozy games. I bought Animal Crossing on the Switch for my kids a few years ago, and they enjoyed it. But I think I tried playing that game myself like 3 or 4 times. I got it in my head that there had to be a reason that the franchise is so well liked, so I thought I needed to give it a chance. But every time I put the game in, my eyes rolled back into my head from boredom, and I ended up doing something else. But all that said, just because I don't like cozy games doesn't mean that making one is necessarily a bad idea, and I acknowledge that a cozy game married to the Lord of the Rings franchise is actually an interesting design idea.
Everybody has their own types of games they like to play. Like I said before, if you like Tales of the Shire, then all the power to you. I'm not saying otherwise. But sometimes, if you really want to honor Tolkien's legacy, as Tales of the Shire can, in fact, be a cozy game for those who want to experience The Hobbit. Overall, Tolkien's game, or in this case, Tolkien's legacy, I recommend Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the game.
If the artwork in the game wasn't so wretched, then this would be a highly marketable title. It suffered, though, from the same problem that Gollum suffered from. The graphics and design just look like total shit. I mean, look at this. You can't market something like this. With most gamers, they likely hadn't even heard of this game. Or, if they had heard of Tales of the Shire, they either didn't like it or didn't give a crap about it. The launch trailer is a prime example of what I'm talking about here. At the time of this recording, the trailer dropped 17 hours ago, and it is currently at only 26,000 views, and it was immediately ratioed because there is so much bad will concerning this game. They have 568 likes to 938 dislikes, and the comment section for this trailer ripped them to pieces, mirroring everything that I've been saying here. Most reviews of the Switch version mention this game crashes very often. Beware. Now Gollum has competition. Never before has such a great concept been so thoroughly wasted. I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago, when the graphics of Lord of the Rings games were somehow better. This game is for modern audiences only. I hope whoever greenlights these games runs out of money soon, so Tolkien's work stops being spat on. And sadly, Gollum and now Tales of the Shire are probably just the tip of the iceberg.
I don't know if Dr. Disaster is going to mention this, but I'm going to mention it too. I believe I heard Rings of Power is getting a 3rd season. That's true. They're getting a 3rd season despite the disastrous ratings on the 2nd season. Make that make sense. But then again, this is Amazon we're talking about. I don't know which one is much worse, either failure of Rings of Power or Twitch. Like I said, if you really want to experience Tolkien's work, just play Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the game, or Lord of the Rings online. One of my viewers suggested it.
Being spat on. And sadly, Gollum and now Tales of the Shire are probably just the tip of the iceberg as far as bad adaptations of Lord of the Rings goes. With Christopher Tolkien, the son of j.r.r. Tolkien, now having sadly passed away just a few years ago, the floodgates have opened. Christopher had been a dutiful custodian of the IP. He was faithful to his father's work and refused to let people prostitute it out for a quick buck. But the people who hold the rights now seem not to give a shit about that sort of thing. That's why we got the Rings of Power garbage over on Amazon. That's why we saw that War of the Rohirrim anime movie that released this past December that virtually nobody went to go and see in theaters. The franchise is simply not going to be lovingly taken care of as it once was. They have opened the door to any moron with deep pockets to use the franchise however they see fit for a quick buck. And this here is the result. The game, Tales of the Shire, has been out for less than a day at this time, and they're already down to about a 69% review score. And considering the low volume of people that have played this game, considering that that low volume will be made up of cultural auto intake people who are predisposed to eat up everything put out by their corporate masters without question, considering all that, then this score is really bad. If the performance issues are a problem on PC as they are on the Switch, then I suspect that this score on Steam will plummet even lower in the near future. I'm gonna say to the makers of this game what I said at the beginning of this video. I told you.
Also, I have to assume one thing. Whoever made this have already told everyone at Weta Workshop every gamers has a beast of equipment, or in this case, a powerful PC, a powerful Nintendo Switch, say aka the Nintendo Switch 2, or PS5 Pro, Xbox Series X or something, I don't know. Something like that. But then again, they didn't. Some has, and I know some of you has either a low to mid-range PC, or you have a PS4, a PS5, or maybe a PS5 Pro, or an Xbox. If it's a cozy game, I think a PS4 at least is compatible to just run it. I mean, seriously, cozy game, why do you need such a beast of a hardware? Was it 3070 or something? I don't know, I need to check back. But seriously, you don't need a beast of a PC to at least run a cozy game. Unless, of course, if it has RPG element, which that's a different thing. Other than that, you don't need. The RTX 2080 is much better, and most importantly, the limit it can go. I'm gonna assume whoever made this, in this case, whoever designed the mechanics, the level design or anything, or perhaps the engine user, the one who is using the Unreal Engine, or I don't know what engine they use, I assume that they think everyone has a powerful equipment, whether it's gaming PC, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series, or Nintendo Switch 2. Spoiler alert, Weta Workshop, all of them don't. Some of them have budget PC. They don't have anything to run it. They could even run it by lowering the settings. How many times that ever happened where the game usually, well not usually, but most of the time, crashes? If I were writing a book and if my time has come to go, I would tell to myself, whatever happens to my book and my source material that I created, no one must lay their hands on my source material that I created for a quick cash grab. No way, Jose. Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detective or see me play games. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.